Hello, hello. How are you guys doing? Welcome on in. Today we are going to be working on our very first emotes. So I have a few ideas, and like you can kind of see at the bottom here, I kind of gathered a bunch of pictures from the internet of like I just kind of like went through and picked like a bunch of emotes that I liked the overall appearance of and whatnot. I don't know, just like inspiration stuff. I did those for like a few different emotes. And here you can see like I've got like a hard eyes, some crying. Then we got like a toe beans for the tier 2 emote. Alright, so we are going to start with sketching the first one in my list, which is the fire one. So I gotta just figure out how I'm gonna do mine. Because they're very small. You don't have a lot of room for these. You gotta like really like chibi-fy it almost, you know, extreme cartoon. So like, I'm gonna try to maybe keep the arms close to the head, just so I can keep like take up as much space as I can. Because you don't want a lot of empty space with your emotes. Because they're already so small, you gotta really make use of the amount of space you have. And then you also like want extremely thick lines, like so that way you can actually see everything. Then there's also like a lot of the emotes you see like a very simple character designs, you know, like a person with hair or like a dog with like 2 colors. But I have like a lot of patterns going on or like around my face area. So that's gonna be like an extra big challenge, is making sure I get not only all of, you know, the patterns on my character, but also make them readable. Not just like a big jumbled mess. Yeah, I might have to simplify like some parts of my character. I mean, I'm already simplifying a ton. But like, especially when it comes to the coloring. And like, I'm using this square as kind of my my sketching box. So I know, you know, roughly like how much space I have to work with. I don't know how long it takes Twitch to approve of an emote. But if I chug through and I finish this today, I wonder if it'd be ready by like the end of the stream. Or maybe I probably should wait a few days on it, at least. Because there's a lot of times like where as soon as I finish a piece of art, I put it away, then I look at it later, I'm like, oh shoot, everything looks bad now. I gotta fix so many things. And now I just need to kind of figure out my ears. Let's see. The ears still don't feel quite right. I know they're gonna feel a little bit off just because of the limited space I have to work with. Normally I have very large ears, but these are fairly short. But I want to at least make them match each other, which I think this is a bit closer. Gosh, why did I make my character with such big ears? Didn't I know that I would have to draw super tiny emotes at some point when I made my character like years and years ago? God. I think I'm gonna have or at least most of my emotes facing left. Except for like the, you know, odd facing towards the camera ones, which I don't know if I'll have any of those. We might, I don't know. But like what I see a lot of other streamers do is they have them all face a certain way. And then they'll have emotes, you know, kind of like the bean one I want to do, the paws. And like that'll kind of like, if you put them side by side, it looks like I'm reaching out a paw, or like some streamers have holding a gun, and it just looks like they're holding a gun. So I don't know, I kind of like when I do that, so I'll probably keep them all facing the same way. Or at least try to. I guess it's another perk of making all my emotes face this way. It works better for Twitch's little emote modifier thingy. I'm just gonna like make the beans real big. Go big or go home, as they say. Alright, so we got our sketch pretty much worked out here. Alright, so we've got our base. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to start lining it up. I'm actually also going to... I'm gonna open my reference sheet. Thankfully I'm already used to like drawing with thick lines. So like, it's kind of weird drawing with even thicker lines than usual, but it's not too weird. Like, it took me a minute to adapt to this style that emotes generally are, but it's going pretty well, I think. Hopefully it'll keep going well. I have no idea how many of these details will be, like, discernible once it's actually shrunken. Alright, now we got the toe beans, which are probably among the most important beans that there are on a foot. Yeah, you gotta make sure everything's really clean, because there's not much space to work with. I like it better without those lines. Alright, so there's one of our beans. Alright, so far we're doing pretty good. I'm so excited about this emoji. Or not emoji, emote. I keep wanting to call them emojis. I know they're not, but they just... I don't know. I'm old. I see tiny little image and I'm like, ah yes, look at that emoji. Oh yeah, emoticon. I still type. So I never really got into emojis. Like, I was so used to typing with emoticons that, like, I skipped the emoji phase. I still don't use emojis. I try to, like, use them a little bit in social media just because it's, I don't know, it's what people do more normally. But, like, I don't use emojis. I don't like emojis. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do is, like, these inside lines are also, they're very thick. But what helps is kind of like having the outside edges even thicker. So I'm gonna go back and like kind of thicken the outside edge. What I might do, I don't know, some of these inside lines feel kind of thick, so I might thin those up just a teensy bit. But first let me get the fire. Then we're just gonna plop down a whole bunch of this color. Adobe has so many products, I can't keep up with them. But yeah, this is Photoshop. It's like, for a long time it was the best drawing program, but with Clip Studio, like releasing all the stuff that they are, I don't think it's the best anymore. Alright, let's get to drawing this. You gotta remember, I need to do really thick lines. And I think I'm gonna make the hearts like you know, extra thick compared to everything else, just because I like to try to make the eyes and the mouth stand out more than anything. Okay, gotta zoom really close again. There we go. So I'm gonna make my brush a teensy bit smaller for the line art on everything else. Alright, now I need to get some little hair. I guess not even really hair, it's just kind of fluff. Alright, let's get that fluff going. There we go. We got some nice fluffy fluff. Alright, I'm just thickening up all these outside lines here. These are just going to help them help the character stand out from the background. Whether it be a light background, dark background, whatever. It's kind of hard to thicken up the lines on the fur, just because it's so squished to the edge already. So those aren't as bold as the rest of it. Try to get the nostrils to match up. I feel like I always change the positioning on the nostrils when I line them. Now I'm just gonna go like a little wiggle for the mouth. Kind of make it extra bold so it stands out more, like when it's all zoomed out. Because we want the expression to stand out as much as it can. Then let's draw... Actually, I might experiment with something here. I might try to make it like a non-uniform eye. So like it feels extra sad, you know, extra teary-eyed, you know? Alright, now let's go ahead and get the little cheek fluff. So I'm gonna make a new layer. Just because I think I might be doing some edits to the shape of the tears. And I'm just gonna take a nice dark blue. And just kind of draw in where I think the tears should be. I think the rest of this is good to go. Yeah, I think so. I don't see any other major issues. Let's see. Whoop! Come on, zoom in this way. I want to make sure the outside's nice and thick. Okay, I'm actually going to thin up the inside beans a little bit. Not by too much, just a little bit. There. So we want the outside to be thicker than the inside. Just kind of helps push the emote off of the background. Alright, but here is the base color. I think I'm gonna render the fire first, and then I'm gonna work on the color of my character. I just kind of wanted to kind of blank it out so I could see what I'm doing. Or like see what I need to focus on, what I need to not focus on. And I'm going to add in layers, and I'm going to blur. This is gonna like help make a transition between each color. It's not gonna be like super obvious, but it's gonna be like just slightly there. So let's go in and do our colors. So let me just grab a couple colors from my reference sheet and then get to work. Grab those two. And I'm going to start coloring away. I don't really expect a lot of the details of my character to be visible in the bar, but at least as much as I can. Let's see, I actually might make the inside mouth color a little bit darker for this one. A little bit darker and maybe a little bit more red. It's just gonna kind of help make a separation between like the teeth and the tongue and stuff. I'm so happy. I wasn't entirely sure how well I'd be able to make a chibi Z. Just because I don't really draw chibis, but I'm glad it's coming out well so far. Alright, so now it's time to put a clipping mask on that and grab my actual base color. Plop it down. I'm going to grab a couple more colors. Let's grab the next two colors on my list over here. And just kind of start going away at it. Alright, so we got our teeth, we got that. Let me get my whisker dots in here. Let me turn on my whiskers real quick so I can kind of line them up too. There we go. And then we can do the red eyes. Do I want red or do I want like pink or something? I think I like red. I think it's kind of hot pink almost. Alright, so we got our eyes. Very sad, sad eyes. So now I'm going to... I need to open my reference here. So let's grab our first two colors out of it. Alright, so now we've got our second to last color, which mostly takes up like about like this, or like the main head area. I don't know. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to the tears. Actually, no, first let's clean up the fur patterns a little bit, because we normally like to kind of go like this, like make it look like there's little tufts of fur coming out. Much sadness, so sad. Here today, we are sad. Alright, so we got that, and it looks like a little bit of the tan, the darker tan, blonde-ish color will be showing a little bit on this side. Alright, so we got those. Now we just need to get our bean color. Yep, everything looks good. Alright, I think we're ready for shading. We're gonna have like some kind of shadows down here. And now I'm gonna try doing some cell shading, which I haven't done in a very long time, so we'll see how that goes. It's a little hard to see. All like the little detailed shading stuff. I don't normally do really any shading on stream, actually. Because so far all I've done on stream are Telegram stickers and a reference sheet, which aren't shaded at all. And like from our preview, things still looking pretty good. I might change the shading from purple to something else. I might change it to something more warm instead of a cool color. I might just go with the fire better, but we'll see. We'll see how it looks once I get some highlights going too. Alright, I'm going to work on some highlights now, which I'm going to do like a very bright orangey yellow. I don't know, I'm going to go with soft light for now, but I might change it again, in the future, because I can do that. I don't really do shading that often anymore, so it's kind of hard for me to remember how to shade. I wish I did do it more. I really love it. There we go. We got nice beans. And our emote preview is looking good so far. Just gonna make a few clipped layers on top of the base colors. And for sake of keeping it the same, I'm going to color grab the same colors we used for the highlights stuff last time. And it just adds like a tiny bit of depth. So now let's take our brush. We're gonna be doing hard-ish cell shading first. So let me just plot down some color real quick. And then we're going to lower it to, let's do like 20% to start with. Because we're also gonna do a few layers of this. Yeah, it's like I'm doing like a blend of soft and hard shading. I don't really know what kind of shading I'm doing anymore. Just whatever feels right, I guess. And ultimately, the thing, that's just what art is. You just do what feels right. And then eventually it is right. Just kind of like, I'm trying to keep it looking fluffy, but not all over the place. Which is kind of like a weird, it's like a weird spot. I like to keep like the inside of the face soft in general. I'm just gonna kind of color in a lot of this and then erase away the curves here. Then we're just gonna kind of refine it up a little bit because it's all sloppy right now. Right here and right there. Now we get to move on to the highlights, just where we think the light will be hitting the most. Let's see, I want to try to avoid overlapping with the shadow too much. Alright, so now that we have the base highlights done, I'm going to do another layer of just extreme pure highlight. So it's basically nearly white in color. And I just kind of go over top and just shine up the stuff that's like extra shiny. So, you know, like the tongues, the teeth, and in this instance, the eyes. I'm gonna kind of pull the same colors that we used last time, just because that's what we generally do. I just had an idea. Hold on. Now I'm gonna get like a red, and I'm going to take my opacity brush. So I don't want it too dark. I want it kind of concentrated right here though. Just like adding like a little like blush almost. So you want to make sure I leave room for the bounce light as always. I'm gonna kind of clean off these edges. A little bit on the bottoms. The tops are gonna be mostly unshaded just because that's where the light's kind of hitting the most. Pretty good for the face. I'm gonna blend this part out a little bit more. Now let's do the eyes, or I guess the tears rather. Trying to make it real shiny. So I think I'm going to leave a fair amount of room on the edges for highlights, as well as a little bit in the middle. Alright, so, okay, we got our shading done, so let's do our highlights. Trying to make sure I keep the highlights in, like, the allowance area between the shadow and the edge. It just kind of looks weird when it starts overlapping. Alright, so let's go ahead and get shining our tears. Little lines here, little lines there, right pretty much everywhere we just highlighted with our normal highlight, but just intensifying it a little bit more. Alright, so we got all the beans, we got the toes, we got all the stuff. So now let's get to shading. So it's kind of easier if I like color it in and then erase away where the shadow isn't. This seems cleaner that way. Alright, so I think we got some pretty good start. I'm gonna just kind of add a little bit of a shadow right there. Again, helping separate this from like this ball down here. And this one's like, it's a really simple, this is a simple emote. Just like repeating the same process over and over again for all the beans. I might do the double highlight just on the toes and like leave them off of the whatever this part is. Alright, so now we got like our super shine. So let's go ahead and decrease the intensity of that just a smidge. There we go, look at all those nice beans. Those are some good beans. I really hope that they approve it soon because I want these. Beans and sad. We can be sad with our beans. Or we can be happy with our beans, you know, whatever way we want to be. We are our own people and we can do things however we want to do them. Anyway, so I hope you all had a good time and I hope we can use these emotes soon. I'm definitely excited about them. And I will see y'all next time. Goodbye.